Hello, my name is Adriana Marino, and I'm the host and producer of Bend into Balance, powered by The Source. Today, I am with Holly Ladd, board certified functional medicine, health and wellness coach, as well as a personal trainer. And I've had the chance of getting to know Holly for the last couple of years as she has been a mentor to me. And we are now also colleagues at the same telehealth workplace that we both are collaborating with. Holly, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to pick your brain because, like I just said, you were a mentor to me and I learned so much from you.
Oh.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks, Audrey. Thanks for the invitation to come and talk about something that I think we're both really passionate about and that I've been doing for, gosh, 13 years now in
Wow.
this space. So I really appreciate the invitation. It's been wonderful getting to know you as well and finding a fellow kind of same mindset, right? Same sensibilities here in Bend. And yeah, I just look forward to having a conversation about health coaching and health and well-being and how we support our clients to be the best that they can be.
Yeah. Thank you, Holly. So something I do not know about yourself. How did you start this path?
This path, yeah.
Yeah.
So, my life has been a long journey of trying different things, and, in 2010, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and it was pretty serious and, it eye-opening, and I sought out a, functional medicine practitioner, Dr. Mark Hyman, who I think you're
Oh,
probably
yeah.
familiar with, went to his clinic
In Cleveland?
in Massachusetts,
Okay.
in, Lenox.
Got it. Uh-huh.
Saw one of didn't see him, I saw one of his doctors, but it was a whole new approach to medicine and looking at and so because when I went to the rheumatologist, he's like, "Well, we don't know what causes it. There is no cure.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be on methotrexate for the rest of your life." And I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "There's a reason my body is doing this, and so I would like to understand why." And so after tons of tests, as you know, blood
Yeah.
tests, digestive, stool, everything, every part of me was tested. You just learn about what's under the hood
Sure.
and you think you're running well and then all of a sudden something happens and you just realize that all of these, if I had sensor lights on my dashboard, they all would have been on, but we don't operate like that. So slowly but surely, I started to reverse my symptoms over the next, you know, it probably took about 4 years to kind of get fully healed.
4 years, and this was under the
The
supervision
supervision
of
of
Mark
fu
Hyman's
of yeah, his clinic,
clinic?
his
Uh-huh.
doctor. It was Doctor Todd Lapine, who's wonderful, and it was a lot of dietary changes, it was lifestyle changes, it was lowering my stress levels, it was some supplementation, I had some imbalances, inflammation, all those
Yeah.
things that we now know are sort of evil culprits, and once I started to feel better, and that was probably, 2 years after, maybe 2012, I started to
Mhm.
really feel much better, and I was like, "You know what? I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing at the time professionally, and I really wanted to give back and, like,
Yeah.
prevent others from having this, like, shock,
Yeah.
surprise
Mhm.
diagnosis and going through what I went through." So I looked into becoming a nutritionist, but that didn't quite do it. I looked into I didn't wanna go to medical school. I was in my 50s and just first of all, I can't stand blood, so that wasn't an option for me.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, I just heard about this career called health coaching, and I thought, "Wow, that sounds interesting."
Mhm.
I had been a teacher, that's part of my background. I've been in education. I was a sports coach, so knew a little bit about coaching. Anyway, long story short, I went to this program, um, learned a bit and wanted to learn more and went to another program called the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy where it really dove deep into good coaching practice. And, yeah, so I first got my first coaching certificate in 2013 and then got my sort of secondary one in 2015. And what I learned is coaching is really the missing link in health and well-being because it's not about telling people what to do. There are experts everywhere.
Right.
It's really about empowering everyone in how. how to eat better, how to eat less sugar, how to get better sleep, how to get more exercise
Hmm.
in a way that makes sense for them,
Sure.
you know? So it really resonated with me because it kept the client empowered, and I wasn't having to fix them. I was just helping them fix themselves and find their own strengths. So that's the long-winded story of how I got into it. But it was my own health
Hmm.
uh, crisis, basically, that just shifted me
Yeah.
into another direction.
That's interesting
Yeah.
because for me, it's quite similar.
Yeah.
In the pandemic, I got some regular lab work, and my gynecologist said to me, "You have Hashimoto's. You need to take Synthroid." I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"What?"
What?
And my TSH wasn't even that high. It was kind of
Yeah.
in this gray area. And I'm like, "No, I feel really good. I feel really
Mhm.
well. I do not associate, any of these symptoms. Let me look into this." And she said to me, "I had a feeling you were going to say this to me." And so I'm like, "I'll see you in a couple of months." And so I looked up also what was
Yep.
autoimmunity, and I understood the role of stress, the role of sleep, the role of, certain food choices like
Yeah.
gluten, like dairy. So I started making a lot of shifts to my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that at the time, but I applied functional medicine, well, or a lot of the principles of functional
Right.
medicine to myself. Long story short, I've never taken that medication. My
Wow.
TSH levels came out a couple months ago, perfectly normal.
Bravo.
Yeah, and so that's also what empowered me to wanting to become a health and wellness coach. So
Yeah.
we have that in common.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing field, and people just, I still think, it's been around for, gosh, probably 20, 30 years.
Really? That
Yeah.
long? I didn't
Yeah.
know
I
that.
believe it was like maybe the early 1990s when the first concept, it was really came out of like some therapy work and
Uh-huh.
um counseling and um just it's been around, but it's just taken a long time for it to kind of take off,
Yeah.
and for people to really understand the value of what a health coach actually is and how it can actually help support a medical practice or support um even therapists. Like health coaches has it's a certain niche that um that is underrepresented. So it's slowly building,
Yeah.
but we still have some work to do.
So tell us about your work. How do
Yeah.
you serve your client as a health and wellness coach?
Well, for me, I find that it's sort of evolved too over the past 10, 13. Well, how long? 13 years. As the internet's become more prevalent, as more and more information is available online, and there's more and more information about functional medicine, lifestyle medicine, uh, stress management, ways of eating, you can find anything on the internet.
Yes.
When I first started out, it was a little bit about information, like help. I'm not exactly sure what to do.
Hmm.
And not that I would tell them necessarily what to do, but it was sort of like, well, here's some options and what sounds good to you. And it was really it's always client led, client driven. They're the ones making the choice. And now it's about what information can I trust? And then the most important thing is how?
How do I do
How
this?
do I do this?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I think about one client I had several years ago. She had an autoimmune condition, and she just knew that she could do better, and she knew that diet and lifestyle was playing a role, but she couldn't. She had kids, a busy lifestyle, she was an executive, she was just like a busy woman, and she really wanted to do, like, an elimination diet, which I don't wanna get into that because 'cause we're not a
Yeah.
medical podcast, but it's basically a way of eating to see if any foods are affecting
Triggering.
you,
Hmm.
triggering, yeah.
Yeah.
But she just couldn't do it.
Hmm.
So, we just put together a plan and fit it into her lifestyle, and it was a conversation, and there was some experimentation that failed,
Hmm.
but all failure is a learning moment, and we just kind of pivoted from there, and then finally she was able to do it, and she was even able to do it going to Disney World for a family vacation for a week.
That's impressive
Yeah.
because there's nothing harder than changing our diet when we're on vacation.
Exactly, right? I was like,
Yes.
"Wow, that's okay, that's gonna be a good test for you." She said, "I'm up for it. I have a plan, I have my snacks, I
She
have
had
them
you.
packed." We had put together a strategy. She was feeling she knew the why. And that's the other thing that I think is really important that we do as coaches,
Uh-huh.
is help people get really clear on why go jump through all these hoops to make these changes? Like,
Sure.
why is it important?
Yeah.
You know?
Tap into that intrinsic motivation.
Yeah, tap into your value system and, you know, really connecting health to what's important in their lives.
Mhm.
Because let's face it, our society is not structured for health. It's structured for sickness. The stress that we carry, the convenience foods, the burn the
Sedentary
candle,
lifestyle.
sedentary lifestyle,
All the screens.
screens,
Keeping us
exactly.
socially isolated.
Exactly. Just the sort of, stressors financial stressors, everything
Yeah.
is very stressful. And it's easy to kind of go on autopilot and just kind of, get up every day, do your thing. It's easy. You may not feel great,
Right.
but, it's easy.
Yeah.
Path of least resistance, right?
Mhm.
And, I think we as health coaches work with people to really understand, like, why is it worth it for me to cook my own food
Mhm.
when I could just go to, wherever and pick
Sure.
up something,
Yeah.
even if it's Whole Foods, but, you know, cooking at home, you're always going to have a better meal. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really helping people get clear on why, and then so how are you going to do it? You're busy. How are you going to work in cooking? What schedule are you on? What strengths do you have that you can lean into,
Sure.
right? So I think I've gotten way off track with this, but anyway, I helped this woman come up with a plan to do the elimination diet, be successful with it. And she's like, I did it. And for the first time ever, I came back from vacation feeling invigorated. I don't feel depleted. I feel like I still have energy. And she was so proud of her accomplishment.
That's amazing.
And she's doing great to this day.
Wow.
So that's one of, I mean,
Yeah.
there are so many people I could talk about who have benefited from working with a coach.
You mentioned something about the missing link.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that? How you see that?
Yeah. So actually part of my health coaching journey was actually working in partnership with a functional medicine doctor
Uh-huh.
who would give his clients a very extensive medical plan, health plan, and then they would meet with me to figure out how to actually implement the plan. Because if it weren't for the coach, the doctor would just give the plan to the patient.
He would stuff it in the pocket.
Yeah, and they would stuff it in their pocket or they'd throw it in their glove box,
See you in 6
box or
months.
put it in a drawer and never follow through.
Yeah.
And they'd forget about it. And so the yes, coaches are an accountability person, right? You meet with us on a regular basis and it's a check-in, a checkpoint. Like, hey, how's it going? We're also, we doctors, I think, have the best intentions, but they don't necessarily understand human behavior. And I think we are we're experts in behavior change.
Yes.
We understand what it takes. And so we can work with the individual. And whether you have a plan from a doctor or whether you just read a book that you're inspired by, that you're like, oh, I really want to try this, diet, or I really want to try this exercise plan, or I really want to work on
breath work
or sleep hygiene or meditation, whatever it is, right, that you're inspired to do. A coach can help you actually do it and do it for life, as opposed to do it for 2 months and then fall back into your old patterns of you just forget about it.
Yeah.
Or something comes up, right? A life, a vacation, you get off your routine and then you come back, you don't come back to it. Or you have a big job, project, and you just kind of get out of your routine and you forget. And I think coaches are the missing link because we really connect the what somebody wants to do with actually doing it and following through and being consistent about it. And how many people have you worked with, Audrey, that are like, if only I were more consistent, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think that's the
All
number.
the time.
Yeah, it's like the number one thing I hear from clients is like, oh, if I was only consistent about getting to bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so we really work on that consistency.
Behavior change, habit change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. and little bits. And I think the other thing that people, um, that we tend to do is we push ourselves to take too big a leap, like,
So true.
okay, I've been going to bed, binging Netflix, and I end up going to bed at like midnight. I'm going to get to bed at 10 o'clock,
Right.
which is too big a leap.
Unrealistic.
Unrealistic.
Mhm.
So, just doing it in smaller increments, smaller little changes, right?
Yeah.
And the power is profound, because then success breeds success.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. No, it's so true. I mean, whenever we
yeah,
are able to achieve something that we've done all on our own, it just empowers us to want to
absolutely.
reach the next goal,
Uh,
no matter how small or big that may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading a book on, have you ever read James Clear's book, Atomic Habits?
Yes.
Yeah. And he talks about, someone that wanted to start going to the gym.
Uh-huh.
And I think the first thing he did was like, just pick out your shoes the night before and put them by the bed.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do.
Uh-huh.
That's success.
Mm-hmm.
And they would pick out their shoes and put them by the bed. And the next morning they would put them on and not even realize that,
They were one step closer.
yeah, it's like, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
And then just put the shoes on and go to the front door. Like these really small little wins. And
Yeah.
by the time they have their shoes on and go to the front door, they're like, well, I just might as well go to the gym.
Uh-huh. That's great.
So I think it's cool.
Yeah.
This concept of just like small incremental changes add up and make us feel like we've accomplished something and we want to keep going.
Yeah.
Momentum.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think one of the other things, reflecting on this missing link is, how many patients, and I'm thinking of my elderly father, doesn't leave his, bi-monthly visit with his PCP with a long list of medications, and certain things have been tweaked, some things have been dropped, some things have been added.
Right.
And he goes to the pharmacy, he picks up all his bottles, he has them at his night table, but there's no behavior change. He's still eating the same way, he's still not moving the way he should,
Right.
and just how coaches can help in that.
Yes, like I said, it could be a medical plan that's just like medications.
Right.
It could be a medical plan that's lifestyle. It could be a combination of both. It could be supplements. It could be, sleep hygiene. It could be anything. And having that coach help that is not judging you,
Yeah.
right? It's fine. Okay. Hey, you missed taking your pills. Let's figure out what's going on, and just talk through it in a very safe space to help the person realize like, okay, well, maybe I'm going about this wrong. Maybe if I took my medicines in, this order, or maybe if I set an alarm, or maybe if I put them out, or maybe like number of different ways to be successful.
Yeah. And I'm also thinking too, like how if all clients or patients had a way of working with a coach, how certain medications were not even necessary is what I'm trying to get at. Because he's never made any behavior change.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
To kind of avoid or minimize certain medications.
Absolutely.
And all medications obviously have side effects,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what I find, my father will never accept me as his health and wellness coach. I mean, that's a lost case, but how I would love for him just to start exercising or be more conscious of his food choices, and how, little by little, how these lifestyle changes. And maybe that's, I would be curious to ask you about, like, what kind of lifestyle changes are your clients needing, and how the coach work help that happen in order to kind of just avoid, going back
for
to
sure.
our example, neither of us wanted to be medicated all our
No,
lives. And that's exactly why we reset our nutrition, our movement, our stress management.
Yes.
We looked at social connection,
Yeah.
sleep,
Yeah.
and we were able to kind of live, thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Until this
So
day,
far,
medication
we're doing
free.
it.
We're doing it. So, but yeah, if we could talk a little bit about those lifestyle changes.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, I mean, the first person that comes to mind is my mom. And I mean, mom's pretty healthy. She's 86. She's on one medication.
Oh, wow.
Just
that's
a little something for a heart,
Yeah.
heart situation. I don't even think it's AFib, but anyway. But she's very open, right? And I've talked to her about changing her diet for the last probably since I became a health coach.
Mhm.
And she's like, yeah, I think I do probably eat too much sugar. And She just started working out with a personal trainer
No way.
like this spring.
That is amazing.
So she's at 86 seeing the benefit of like
muscle
and
Wow.
fitness. And she's like, I get up and down out of the chair much easier. So
It's never too late.
it's never too late. And I think about, I think of many of my clients have come to me because they are proactive.
Uh-huh.
They don't want, like us, they don't want to be on medication.
Right.
They don't want to have cognitive decline. They don't want to have cancer. They don't want to have heart disease. But they need help
Mhm.
figuring out how to lower those risks.
Yeah.
And so that's been my experience is like, let's just talk about how to lower your risks for anything serious down the road. And so it is all interrelated. And I have to say that I have, over the years, stress is a huge trigger for so many people.
Yeah.
And a huge issue for so many people.
I would almost say like the number one.
Yeah, it really does seep into everything.
Aspect of life.
And sleep would be a close second, but I think the two of them are so interrelated. Yeah. So really working on, whether the stress be self-imposed through negative self-talk, through, automatic negative thoughts, through anxiety, or whether it be legitimately from work stress or financial stress or family, issues, caretaking, that's a huge one. Just, I think clients who learn how to manage their stress, learn how to have deep relaxation, not just watching TV, but deep offline relaxation.
Yeah.
Really see the benefits of that. And then that sort of is the dominant. I always say that's like the domino behavior, right? And then you'll sleep better.
Yeah.
And then you'll make better choices with food. And then you'll have energy to exercise. And then you'll have energy to, not snap at your partner or your kids.
Not be so reactive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's interesting to me over the years to really see like what's driving what. And I do think stress is a huge driver for poor health for so many people.
Yeah, completely agree.
I mean, who doesn't reach for, a pint of ice cream when you're just like wigged out, right? You're just like, I'm just going to have some ice cream, or I just have a glass or two of wine, or, so.
Yeah. Can you think of any examples of clients that you've served, Holly, with high stress that you've been able to, help reframe that stress? And I'm curious how you've coached them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess part of it is to first get them to recognize that they are stressed, that might be at play, but secondly, to recognize that stress isn't necessarily a bad thing either. It's excitement sometimes that we interpret as stress. We use this sort of, I'm so stressed. It's like, but let's really think about that.
Yeah.
So it's reframing what stress actually is, and also recognizing that there are physiological side effects to when our nervous system is feeling pressured and under strain.
Yes.
So specifically, one of my recent clients, I'm working with this guy who, young, in his 30s, late 30s, all of a sudden was having just like anxiety attacks and just severe anxiety, and just couldn't handle life the way that he was able to like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And he was like own business entrepreneur, raising a family, 2 kids, just bought a bigger house, all the trappings of everyday sort of success in America, pushes himself a little bit physically, and his resilience was gone he was just like tapped out.
Uh-huh.
And so we've really worked on rebuilding his resilience by just taking things a little bit slower and being more gracious with yourself
Mm-hmm.
and not starting the day, not going from 0 to 60 in half a second.
Yeah.
And just taking some time in the morning to just, I like to call it a beach entry into the day, right? You're
Yeah.
just not diving into the deep end. You're just wading into the day,
I like that.
giving your body a chance to adapt to the temperature of the water.
Yeah.
And we've been working now for about 3 months,
Uh-huh.
and he's starting to feel like he's got more resilience. He's starting to have more energy. He's starting to feel like he's not snapping with his kids as much.
Yeah.
He's enjoying his life more. And he's like, you know what? I actually felt like raking the leaves the other day, and I hadn't felt like doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like these little shifts.
Yeah.
And so for him, stress was just like a huge contributor to what he was feeling and going through.
Yeah.
And now he's feeling a little bit better.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. But it takes time too. I think people also in our society
Want those quick
fixes, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'll be better in a week if I just meditate every day. It's like,
Right.
no, hold on.
Yeah.
We have to develop the patience, right? For my autoimmune, right?
Mhm.
It took me 4 years. It took probably 10 years for the condition to manifest in a symptom.
Yeah.
So it's not going to take a year for them to all go away. It took probably 4 years for my body to get back to like a healthy place.
Yeah.
Just be patient with yourself. You will get there.
Yeah.
Don't give up on it. Don't give up on something if you don't feel the effect immediately. And I think that's the other thing we do as coaches is to really reassure people that, they're on the right path and share with them other clients that have been through similar situations or your own personal story.
Yeah.
And help them see like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I often bring other success stories of my clients with my clients.
Yeah.
And that really inspires them to
It
know that
does.
they're not alone. And
Yeah.
You mentioned it being a soundboard.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How do you feel that in some ways, health coaching, we're obviously not doing any, we're not doing any mental health therapy, but we are a listening board for so many.
Listening board. Yeah. I do feel that we're not therapists, and we are definitely not diving into therapy and, diagnosing and making sort of going back into childhood. We're not doing that. And yet sometimes people just need to get some stuff off their chest or they don't have anybody else in their life that they can have these kind of conversations with that they feel like they can trust and feel super safe. And so a lot of times my client, like I've been working with a couple clients for like many, many, many years, and they'll come to me and be like, hey, I need to run this by you. I just need to talk this through with you.
Yeah.
Right. Cause I know I know, where I'm coming from, and I know you'll give me, you'll help me see things that I'm not seeing. And so they talk about it and they feel better, they feel heard, and, so in that respect, and I do think we can ask them questions to help them sort of think things through.
Yes.
Whether it be like they're in a difficult marriage or a difficult relationship or a difficult job or, I have had clients that broke up with their significant others because they saw that they were going in different directions.
Right.
Like this person wants to still go to bars and hang out and eat crappy food, and I don't.
Yeah.
Or this person or this job is toxic to me, and I really need to find something that's going to be more supportive. So it's not that we're telling them to do that. We're just having conversations that allow them to come to those conclusions themselves.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, an opportunity to be in a very safe space where I do think health coaches are amazing listeners. We have a great curiosity, not for ourselves, but on behalf of our clients.
For sure.
We help them. I think the other metaphor that I use a lot when I used to train future coaches was, most of us are living our lives, we're down in the trees. And I mean, this is not like I didn't make this up, right?
Yeah.
We're living in the trees. We can barely, we're just going along the path and we don't even know where it goes and we're just kind of on it, right?
Right.
And a coach, I think hovers above the trees for people. And we can sort of maybe point them that, hey, there might be another path over there. Like, what would that look like?
Yeah.
What if you were to change directions, where might it lead you? And we exist above the trees and can see things and hear things that our clients are saying that they may not even hear themselves saying.
Yeah.
So
Very beautifully said.
I hope that is clear, my answer.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of something I read. I don't know where I read this, but, on my coaching journey, it said, the moment a person feels heard, they begin to heal.
Yes.
And I feel that that is so true because I have found, just like you, that a lot of our clients, they don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
And even though we're not doing mental health therapy, we are listening and just having them have someone to hear them out and that they can kind of just speak what's on their mind and heart.
Yeah.
I recently also had a man close to 40, make the decision to divorce.
Yeah.
And it's going well, and it's
Right.
going well for her too, and the children, and it's just amazing how empowering coaching can become.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. When people really start to realize that something is affecting them in a negative way,
Yeah.
and really also affecting everybody else in that relationship negatively, probably. And they make that decision, it's really profound to see what can happen.
Yeah.
And that they actually were like, gosh, I can't believe I was in that situation for that long.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I think the other thing that coaching really taps into is not only helping build new habits and slowly dismantle bad habits, but also mindset.
Yes.
How have you found this true in your coaching experience, Holly, that you have many more years than I do?
Well, first of all, I would like to hear, because I think mindset means different things for different people. But
just like, I love this idea, like we change our story and we can change our life, right?
Yes.
And so, for example, I'm thinking of a client, the one who actually just got divorced. There was no self-love in his life.
Yes.
He was working for his wife, for his children, for his employees, for his brothers and sisters, for his parents, because he was an entrepreneur and a successful one at that. And he was doing very well. And he had this idea that he couldn't show himself weak. And so he was taking the burden for everyone. But he was giving himself nothing.
Yeah.
And I kind of pointed out to him, like, where are you in this? Like, how are you taking care of yourself? And he realized how there was no self-love in his life and he wasn't taking care of himself. And he understood this idea that, the more we take care of ourselves, the more we can take care of others, right?
Yeah.
And that he really had to put himself first and not in a selfish way.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I kind of mean by mindset, like reframing these ideas, like these stories that we tell ourselves.
Absolutely.
That this is the way it is. I have to be the strong one. I have to be
Right.
the one who has the answer for everyone.
Yeah.
And when he saw that, that wasn't serving him anymore, he was able to start exercising. He's sleeping phenomenally.
Oh, that's
Anyways,
amazing. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
what I
it.
knew.
Right. And so for I guess I've seen it a lot with women who feel like they have to take care of everybody first.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I need to make sure my parents are okay, my partner's okay, my kids are okay, my dog is okay, my job is okay, that everything is, I'm taking care of everything else, and then I'll take whatever crumbs are left over for me.
Yeah.
And really allowing women to give themselves permission to, like you said, put their mask on first, take care of themselves first, and they will then better be able to take care of all those other people in their lives that are important to them.
Yeah.
And certainly we love the people in our lives and we want to take care of them. But when then it starts hurting us, then it's a problem.
Because it starts hurting our
Because
health.
it starts hurting our health. And then if we're not up, running at 100%, then all of a sudden we're not caring for the others in the same way that we want to be.
Yeah.
So again, it's when I work with somebody like that, I try to tie it to their values, right? And their values tend to be like taking care of others, like it's important to them.
Yeah.
And they want to show their love, and they want to, they value their families 100%. And then I said, well, imagine if you felt 50% better. How would that influence, you taking care of your family and what's important to you? And then the light starts to go off,
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, because they don't want to be seen as selfish, and none of us wants to be seen as selfish, right? But on some level, you've got to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others, right?
Yes, for sure.
Fill your bowl first.
Yes.
You cannot serve from an empty bowl,
No, I completely
you
agree.
know?
Yeah.
And I just think it's something, and again, I think it's because we go on autopilot
Mhm.
and we just do it. Like maybe that's what our mothers were like. Maybe that's what our family ethos is
We don't
like.
even think about it sometimes.
Don't even think about
Yeah.
it, right?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden we're you're exhausted or you're just like not feeling good. And then all of a sudden you're resentful, maybe you're starting to resent things in your life.
Yeah.
And then your health starts to go down. Autoimmune disease comes out from a lot of resentment
Yes.
sometimes.
Mm.
And it's interesting that it hits women more than men.
Uh-huh.
So then just helping people give themselves permission, right?
Yeah.
I have permission to take care of myself. And it's not like you're spending 24/7 a day on yourself.
Yeah.
It's 20 minutes,
Mhm.
half an hour, 15 minutes, just little moments of you time.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that 100%. And also I think the other part of mindset is I think sometimes people think that they're broken, like something's wrong with them,
Right. Uh-huh.
and really pointing out what's right, right? Helping people see what's right with you. Like,
Yeah.
look at you. You're here today. You've had this and that and that, and yet you're here. How did you get here?
Yeah.
Obviously, it took perseverance. Obviously, it took grit. Obviously, it took bravery. It took humor. It took whatever. And helping somebody see that they're not damaged goods,
Mhm.
right? And that's really, really help. I find that to be one of the greatest gifts that a coach can give a client.
I agree because we have that. I mean, I don't say this as we as coaches, but
Yeah,
all of us, I think, we see the character strengths in others, but we
Mhm.
rarely see them in ourselves. I think
exactly.
that's a human trait. I don't know why,
Yeah,
and I think that is very powerful when a
yeah,
coach can kind of put the mirror to that client and
yeah.
say, "Look,
Right. Look at all you have going on, or let's dive in and explore. You have so
yeah,
much love to give. You have so much generosity, like whatever it is to help them understand that yes, I do have I'm good. I'm good. I'm not broken. I'm not damaged.
Mm.
Maybe I'm not applying my strengths in ways that help me.
Right,
And then that's one thing that we can leverage, right?
yeah,
Or our strengths.
for sure."
Yeah, it's just I think coaching goes beyond like I think some people think coaching is like set a goal, accomplish a goal, meet a goal. And that yes, that's part of coaching, but there's
Mhm.
so much underneath it. There's so much more like of what's going to help help you choose what goal is
Yeah,
appropriate for you and
yeah,
help you decide which path you're going to take to get there.
yeah,
And take your whole life into consideration that health isn't just what you eat and how you move. It's
Mhm.
everything,
Yeah,
And I really feel like coaches help clients see the fullness of their life and how every little piece is kind of connected in some way or another.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so that's really profound, I think, too.
it is.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So I mean, I could talk about this forever. And I do think that I hope people are understanding that, if you were to work with a health coach, that it's not just, goal setting.
No,
It's more than that. Of course, it's not therapy. If you have some deep, you know,
right,
issues that you have to deal with, a coach is not appropriate. And yet they can support you
yeah,
and help you, you know, implement some ideas because we also know that diet and exercise and sleep and stress play a role in our mental health.
for sure. Yeah.
Right? So we
Mhm.
can work on sort of some of the more physical inputs
Mhm.
that support better mental health
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
How has being a coach, Holly, enhanced your own health and wellness
Um,
on a
yes.
personal level?
Well, I coach myself a lot.
Uh-huh.
Um, I've as a personal trainer and as a woman in my 60s, I know that, jump training is something that's important, like jumping up on boxes,
Right.
right? And I was doing it for a while and I just stopped.
Uh-huh.
I think I had a little knee, tweaked my knee a little bit. And then I was like, ooh, I don't want to do that again because I don't want to tweak my knee.
Yeah.
And then like several months ago, I was like, I really should start doing my box jumps again.
Uh-huh.
But something was just holding me back.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just coached myself again. What's important about doing the box jumps? What are you going to get out of it? How does that connect to who you want to be? Um, what is it going to give you? How could you do it in a way that makes it safer for you, feel more safe?
Mm-hmm.
And I just worked myself through. So finally, last week, I started doing my dang box jumps
Good for
again.
you.
And it felt so good,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I think it's helped me coach myself.
Yeah.
Um, it's it just keeps me in the game, right? It keeps
Sure.
you.
We have to preach what we teach.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you have to
about
know.
what we have- yeah.
We have to know what's out there, right? We
Definitely,
need to
yeah.
know trends. We need
Mhm.
to know what people are talking about. We need to understand labs. We need to understand what is it? Keto? Is it protein? Is it
Right.
GLP-1s? Is it
Uh-huh.
like what is out there in the health world? So I think it keeps us
Up to date.
up to date, current, reading stuff. I think the other thing is that we're all lovers of learning. So we go out and find the latest and greatest, listen to podcasts,
Right.
listen to different opinions. So it's definitely made me just much more aware of my own
Mm-hmm.
and walking the walk,
Yeah.
right? Like, hey, if I'm going to be coaching people and helping them live their best life, well, I got to be trying to live my best life as well. So,
Yeah, completely.
yeah, so I think that's been the nice sort of side effect of coaching.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
you really can coach yourself.
You can. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I do that. Yeah.
In fact, I think my goal as a health coach is to
Uh-huh.
help clients learn how to coach themselves so they don't need me forever.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, is if
Yeah.
you can help them understand the questions to ask or the things to think about
Right.
when they're having a hard time implementing something,
Yeah.
then that's power,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I don't want somebody to have to work with a health coach all the time. I want to
Sure.
teach them how to figure things out
Yeah.
in the future, right?
Right. And the beauty of that is that if that person is able to learn that skill,
Yeah.
then they can teach it to someone else.
Exactly.
And then, and then it just kind of trickles.
Yeah.
And, we can all hopefully
Yeah.
be living kind of our best
I know. I
selves.
really am so envious of all the students that I had when I was mentoring future coaches that had young children.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, oh man, those children are in good hands.
I hope my kids feel that way.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. I
Yeah.
just think there's something about the sort of mindset of a coach
Mm-hmm.
that facilitates growth and development in children. And you said mindset. So the other thing I'll just bring up quickly is
Yeah.
this notion of growth mindset, and
Right.
which that
So
plays
important.
in coaching
Yeah.
and child development and education.
Yeah.
Is people fail and they just beat themselves up. I failed. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it didn't work for you. So
Mhm.
let's figure out what might work better.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with you. You're not a failure. It just wasn't the right approach.
Yeah.
And helping people get beyond that, if I did not reach my goal, I failed.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with kids, right? And really emphasizing, the effort it takes to be good at something. You're not just naturally gifted.
Right.
You work,
Yeah.
right? And failure is part of getting better,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
As any athlete will tell you.
No, for sure. I also teach, and
Mhm.
I have a hard time penalizing my students when they make mistakes
Mhm.
because I feel that mistakes are just the most natural thing in this world.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to get it right and get it,
No.
be perfect all the time,
No.
and it's only when we make mistakes do we really do learning. So Yeah, I'm always telling my students, don't worry about the mistakes,
Oh, yeah.
they're a little more cautious because it's, Spanish speaking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah, I think mistakes are wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think all schools should give kids an opportunity to do it again.
Yes,
You
we
know,
do.
like,
We do.
and we did that
Recycled, it's
too at the
called.
school I did it. It's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, okay, write that paper again or take
Yeah.
that test again and then give
Exactly.
yourself a chance."
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's scary, right?
Yeah.
There's anxiety.
Mm.
So, anyway, we're off on a
Yeah.
different
But
topic,
no, but
but
growth mindset, going back to
yeah.
that, like, yeah. And that's kind of speaks to me about just positivity, that
Yes.
it's not a fail or success,
No.
it's just we're not there yet,
Yep.
we're still growing, we're still doing,
Yeah.
we're still learning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all one big experiment. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all living in an experiment,
Mhm.
Our bodies are an experiment. This life is an experiment. You
Yeah.
just have to try stuff on and be open
Yeah, for sure.
and helping just expand people's options, right? Of
Yeah.
what's available to them.
Mhm.
And the better you feel, the more options you have at your disposal,
For
really.
sure.
So,
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's I don't know, what's been your sort of most rewarding to you about working as a health coach?
For one, trying to be authentic
Mm,
and knowing that I have to, to use your phrase again, walk the talk and
yeah.
just being really mindful of the choices I make. Um, Not necessarily in nutrition and movement because I've got that side, but especially just more kind of like mindset,
Mhm.
that internal monologue, the things we
Mhm.
say to each other.
Mhm.
s- um, I think one of the biggest game changers for me is what you talked about earlier in the conversation is embracing stress and
Yeah.
not seeing stress as something negative.
Right.
One of the best lessons of our coaching program was reading that book, The Upside of Stress,
Yes.
from the Stanford professor
Mhm. Kelly
Kelly.
McGonigal.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And she says, we can completely up our game by
Mhm.
seeing stress as something positive,
Right.
and seeing stress as something positive actually has better physiological benefits to the
Absolutely.
body too,
Right.
which that was mind blowing. And I love this idea that we only stress about things that we have stake in.
Yes.
Right? So we're not
Yes.
gonna stress about the neighbor's lawn, right? Because we
Right.
don't care about the neighbor's
Yeah.
lawn, right? Or we shouldn't care about the neighbor's lawn. But we do stress about things that are meaningful to us. And so
Right.
just kind of understanding that relationship to whatever is worrying us or whatever's stressing us out,
Absolutely.
kind of is a way of just taking a step back and understanding, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
This is why
Yeah.
I'm worried about this because of course, it's my son, it's my partner, whatever.
Right.
And
Right.
just that kind of keeps things in perspective because I agree with you. I think stress is such a common denominator below so much of the what the unease,
Yes, disease.
disease that
Yeah.
we see in our
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
So, having a better relationship with stress, I
Mhm.
think is something that has really benefited me
Yeah.
because I do see that stress is behind all my clients' issues. And
Yeah.
so being able to see that time and time again and seeing how detrimental that is to their
Mhm.
health, but that it is possible also to shift and
Yeah.
slowly change has just been a constant reminder to keep mine on check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that has been a huge lesson. And I also actually, I get inspiration from my clients. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's so impressive, like the things that they want to do and how they
Mhm.
want to improve their lives and the risks they're willing to take to feel better.
Yeah.
That time and time again, I'm just inspired by them.
True.
Like I want to do that.
I know.
Look at how they did this.
Yeah.
And just seeing how change is possible. And just
Yeah.
this neuroplasticity that is in all of us, and we just have to kind of tap into it and,
Yeah.
we can all evolve for the better. And so
Absolutely.
just seeing that change in my clients inspires me to also just become a better person, I guess.
Yeah, and I think just let's if we circle back to where we started, like the missing link
Right.
and why even have health coaches?
Yeah.
And I have two clients that are like I've worked with for 8 years. They're like I would never not have a health coach in my life.
Yeah.
Um it's really unlike any kind of relationship I think you have in the health space.
Uh-huh.
And if you're looking if you find yourself someone who maybe you always have good intentions. Maybe you're you want to try something, or you do try something and you start exercising and you're really good for like 2 months or 3 months, and then you just slowly kind of go back to the way you were. Or same thing with changing your diet, or if you just are lacking that consistency,
Mm-hmm.
a health coach can really help you figure out how to make it consistent
Yeah.
given the parameters of your own life, because
Sure.
we're all very different,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm.
Um it's really about the implementation of life
Mm-hmm.
that we can help you navigate.
Yeah.
And we're not telling you what to do. It's just by asking questions, reflecting back what we see, what we hear, um, and helping clients understand themselves,
Yeah.
you know, and get clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Because man, it's hard in this world. There's just so much information and so much noise
Yeah.
that to really sit down and get clear with yourself is just a gift.
I agree.
Yeah.
When those waters are calm in our mind, it's so much easier to see what we need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just point out one more thing, because I know we're probably getting long, but
Yeah.
we talked a lot about values and stress and,
Yeah.
I never knew what my values were until I did my health coaching program. I mean, I
Mhm.
thought about it. We did values clarification
Yeah.
exercises in
Right,
high school
right.
or something. And,
Yeah.
I was like, my values, I don't know. So there, you can do a values card sort. You can
Mhm.
look it up online. Or just values exercise, and you'll get probably a bunch of them online. It's a kind of a very hard and challenging exercise to do. But once you get really clear on what your values are,
Yeah.
then you understand w- why certain things get to you, why you get so upset at this,
Yes.
and then how you can diffuse that stress and say like, well, it's connected to my values, so it's
Mhm.
important to me.
Yeah.
So, and then what can I do to help with this situation that's making me crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So,
That's a good insight. I can put that in the show notes. That
mm,
link to that value card. Yeah,
yeah,
if you want to. Yeah.
yeah,
And the other along that same line is the character strengths,
yes,
because there's this free website
yes.
called VIA,
Mhm.
and you can do a quick, easy 15-minute, I think, survey
Yeah.
to kind of find out what your character strengths are.
Yes.
And I actually have mine,
Do you?
yes, written down on a piece of paper on my bulletin board. And I look at it often because, like in times of, when I need,
A
my
little
own
boost?
coach. Yeah, I remember,
Yeah.
myself, what are my character strengths and, what makes me who I am, or part of
Yes.
what makes me who I am, I guess.
Yes.
And it gives me like my north.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to kind of really hone into those character strengths
Yeah, that's
too.
a great I
Yeah,
love the VIA survey,
me
and I
too.
I retake it every
Do you?
few years. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like, let me see if
yeah,
they've shifted at all,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and they're
yeah.
pretty consistent, I must say.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I should take mine again. I've never
Yeah.
done it again, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there are lots of tools out there
There
that
are.
you all can tap into,
Yeah,
and just learn a little bit more about yourself.
yeah.
So,
It's a never-ending journey.
yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Holly, I really appreciate and value this conversation so much.
Oh, me too. I could talk to you for hours.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.